Oh, that's lovely. My daughter made this for me. It's a lemon squash, but it's not out of a bottle. She mixed it herself. Beautiful. She's like that with meals too. She won't follow a recipe. She just throws stuff in. Suzanne used to do that too, and it's absolutely lovely. Right, so this wasn't planned, this video. It's just impromptu. I thought, might be time for another video because I've got some time. And I got back from Eastland this morning, and I met this old colleague I used to work with, Roger Fanton. And Roger, if you see this, it was lovely catching up with you. And it sort of conjured up all these memories. And he had this 302 XD Fairmont, a gold one, like a deep gold one. I think it had chrome slotters on it. Beautiful car. And it wasn't unusual among the cars there. There was a guy, Steve Mack, who had a Onyx Black GT Falcon, a genuine one. Steve Posnan had an ex-police Interceptor XD. So did Brendan O'Donnell, although he'd sold that by the time I got there, and he bought, I think, a 302 XW. Dave Patterson had an XE 351 manual. There was stacks of them. Graham Cox had a Fairmont Gear XE, which was the 302. All these people had all these Clevos. It was Clevo City. Except me. I rolled up in a Berliner BL. It was a manual that my brother used to have. Friends used to call it a Burley because I bought a Calais front and all that sort of stuff, and it looked exactly like a stock Calais from the outside with HDT arrows on it because it got some work done there. Anyway, that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is I have a bit of a clean up from time to time, and at the end of each resto, or at the end of each bunch, well, I'm going to call it resto, but bunch of work I do on a car, I take sheer delight in throwing stuff out. Sheer delight in doing it because it opens up room for other stuff, which I pretty quickly fill again, but we're good. At the end of the XW, I had a whole lot of stuff, and some of it was good as spares. Other stuff was just no good to me anymore because I didn't need it. Things like, you finish a car off with the XC. One of them was the old headlining, which was torn, so I kept it until I got the new headlining. Measured it to see that everything was, all the listings are in the same place, so that when I hung it, I wasn't going to get surprises with wrinkles that wouldn't come out and this sort of stuff. I didn't do that with the XW, and of course we had a great big gathering at the back because the listing was in the wrong spot, so I actually drilled into the rails underneath the turret to pull that listing back and make the headlining taut again. But I gave all this XC stuff that I didn't need anymore to a bloke called Saul. I just sent it. I paid the postage, gave him the parts, and then he wanted some more stuff, and I got him to pay for the postage on that, I think. So it's good to be able to go through that sort of stuff. But every now and then you have parts given to you, like the John Gibbons lot with the steering wheel and the air cleaner, this sort of stuff. So you think to yourself, well, you know what? I might actually use that. I've got a bunch of really, really good 351 stuff that I was going to put into the Falcon. Now, my XD Falcon, back in 2007, I bought a Dove 429 block. And a Dove block has the thicker webbing so it can be drilled for 4-bolt mains. And I built it to sort of Carburetor specifications. I even managed to get Carburetor rocker covers for it. And, it had, was bored 40,000, which brought it out to 440 cubic inch, 7.2 litres. And I had the headers for it. I had the engine mount plates for it. I had a C6 gearbox that had been fixed. I never saw how fixed it was, but I was told it was, so I had that for it. The only things I didn't have actually to put it in the car, I bought a new Edelbrock 750, and it had a wind manifold on, all this sort of stuff. Really tough engine. And then I just thought, you know what, the 302 is so sweet for it, I actually don't want to put it in. I kept the XD with its original engine, which has never been out of the car. And all I had to do on the 429 was to have a tail shaft made, which Fensbury Gully do that sort of stuff. Fensbury Gully drive shafts and the radiator. They're the only two bits. So I moved it on, I sold it, and I went into the guy that bought it, and I'd never started it, and the guy that bought it put it into an XA, a coupe. So then I thought, well, I've got this spare 351. Years ago I did this junkyard 302 thing, and that ended up having cracks in the block, but the guy at the machine shop knew of a crack tested 351 engine, or block, sorry, that was cool. So I bought that, got the machine work done on it, all this sort of stuff, and then just sat it under the bench because I didn't know what to do with it. And so I'm starting to get ideas. I can't put in the EJ. I've already got a grey motor. I'm doing up for that, but I've got these ideas, and I just wanted to see roughly what was there, because some of the stuff associated with that, I didn't sell or I didn't give away. So even I've had a few people ask me about it too because they knew about it. So I thought to myself, well, I've always liked ZK Fairlanes, and particularly the green with the beige interior, and it's got that sort of velour in it. It's really nice. I thought about doing one of those, and thought, maybe not. Anyway, this video is just about, I'm just hunting around to see what's there, and that was sort of prompted by John Gibbo giving me a belt housing and a steering wheel and all this sort of stuff. But obviously I'm not going to use all of that, but I just want to see what's around. So look, if you're bored and you feel like being bored and watching me doing this mindless crap, well, you might want to stick around. So thanks very much. Probably wouldn't hurt to get this out again. I've got some, you can't really see in there. There's some 302 heads in there. Rocker covers and timing cover there. Let's have a look. I need to unwrap this and have a look. I had all the fasteners done too. That needs a baffle. That would be a 302 one. It's still in very good shape. It's all it's just spat a bit of, what do you call it, edge primer on it. It's all fiberglass. It's all bored. It hasn't been finished home though. You can just see how lovely it is. I'm paranoid about it rusting though. There's our little crank. So I've got this. It's all crack tested and I think it needs the cam bearings fitted and a finish hone. And it's good to go. Really the best way of getting into those top ones. These are actually better than the ones I put on the XC. And there's a timing cover down there. I've got that. And these gorgeous Hypotactics, which cost a fortune. Everyone wants to bore Cleveland's 30 and 40. No one wants to do it 20, but this was a original bore. And I wanted it to be fresh, but also have some room in it for rebuilding later on if it ever needed it. And they're all numbered. It's been bored according to the pistons. Oh, valve stem seals. They're for the XD. I haven't done those yet. Push ones. Gallery plugs. Oil pickup. Oh, they're the pedestal bolts for the rockers. That'd be alternator. Probably. Rocker arms. I think these are damaged, or some of them are damaged. But head bolts. Distributor clamp. Little fulcrum thing. This is a new belt, so I never used it on the XC. Oh. Yeah, look at this. The new belts are for the 351. Huh. Oh, hang on. Put those over here. I forgot about some of this stuff. I've also got that lovely bell housing. It's drilled for a top loader or a single arm. I want that to sit level. I don't know why I didn't use this on the XC. I think I was saving it for the XD because the XD is my preferred car. This is a starter. Hang on, let me open the box. Oh, there. I think this is a good one. Oh, it's a Bosch though. It's not a Klepper. I've got a drive plate for an order. And a bell housing for a manual. I've got pretty much everything. I think I've got another alternator, a single wire alternator like that. I've got all the bolts, all plated, original ones. I've also got this. I did two of these. One went to Canada, to Andy Newstead, and the other stayed here for me. I was going to use that on the XW. It's beautiful, isn't it? I've also got a full set of parts to make up a, I didn't do that bit, to make up a thermoquad. Yeah, as new thermoquad. Bunch of crap here, spare engine for the bike, there's a couple of Starley gearboxes. These are Mustang GT front springs. I don't know if I can use those. And there's a Clevo drive plate there. There's also another inlet manifold here, which I think is a 302 one with the restrictors in it. I can't see it. It's probably underneath all that. And I don't really want to take that out. Carter thermoquad manifold is another thing that was one of the things John gave me actually. This, as far as I understand, I'll have a look in a minute. I've got two of these. This one and one that has restrictors cast into the secondaries, which my understanding is that they're on 302s, the ones with restrictors, because the thermoquad's going to flow something like 850 CFM. You open up the secondaries on the 302, it's going to bog down. You just lose all your airspeed, and it does take a while for it to regain. Now Ford use two types of ports. They're small ports, they call them 2V. And the one that I want is, or eventually I'll get a hold of I guess, is a square bore Holly pattern. Now they were on later XB GTs, on the proviso that early ones had the big ports. I'm not sure, my brothers did, but I'm not sure if they all did. There's all sorts of conjecture with that. P5 LTDs used and that sort of stuff, but they were only used up to the end of XB, which was something like, I think, June 1976, around there. The XC, I think, came out in July 1976. And that's with the small ports. So the small ports and the Holly stud pattern are reasonably unusual because they're only off one model of car. So this, it's got bog in there. I think I did that when I was a kid. That track is normally open and you have an EGR plate there. Of course, that's ported down to these two ports here in the cylinder heads, and exhaust gas is allowed to come around here and then get injected back into the engine once it warms up. Not sure if we're going to use this. This is exactly the same manifold as I put on the XC, being the unrestricted one and the EGR one. But what I'm curious about, and I'm positive the 302s used restrictors, I'm just going to stick Nick's camera down the carburetor on the XD and take a bit of a look. I don't see much here. I'm just going to open this up. So we're in sort of the thermoquad. I'm going in there, the secondaries there, that sort of checkered pattern. And I'm down, whoops, we're going down. And the manifold, that hasn't got restrictors. At least it has. There it is there. You can see it sort of ramps down. The hole's roughly the size of the primary, give or take, where the 351 manifold, there's no ramp going down to the floor of the manifold, it's just open all the way down. Thanks so much to Addison. He donated these two early generation Thompson power steering pumps. These are what early XCs had. I think all XCs had them. I think the plastic bodied Thompson, there's one in the XD, and they went right up into the 90s on EFs and ELs and all sorts of stuff. But I was going to put one of these on the XC, but I'm going to save one. And one of them will go on the XW because I will put power steering on that. So a new and a second hand. Actually, that second hand one's still good. Fan clutches. I don't like using solid fans on Clevos. I do prefer a clutch fan. I think XCs originally had, what did they have? Flexi fans on the, well, at least on the air conditioned cars. I think the other ones did too. But the last one of those I sold, I think, $240. I got a lot of money. Single pulleys there. Won't use them there for the engine stand, but that's another thing I can get some use out of. I can make up another air cleaner too. I've got some other stuff. Hang on a minute. That's for the XW. That Edelbrock. I've got a whole lot of thermoquad carburetor parts. I've got enough to build probably 2 thermoquads, but I only want to build one. Now that's a VCR in there. I don't know where it is. There's a Huntsman skin. Buggered if I know. Oh, there's a Holly 600 there too. That'll go on the XW. Can't remember what I did with it. And of course these beautiful pieces here, which we did a video on that stuff. And that wheel, GT wheel. That's the vacuum motor for there. And little single rail. I don't know if I use that. I actually don't like these. XC and D use those. XC's had like a banana shift, you know, the ones that were slanted up the front. But I prefer the XA, XB, XY ones. Oh, Vaughan, I never thanked you for this. Vaughan Shonicus, always donating stuff. And that's a CV banding tool when you replace CV joints. So he must have seen the Starlet video on Corolla ones, and he gave me that. I'm sorry, Vaughan, I clean forgot to thank you for it. I'm on the thank yous. This is Nick Sagliano again. It's a hose clamp plier, and if I can be perfectly honest, I actually don't know how to use it. I will figure it out though, Nick. Thanks again. Not to forget at all, the wonderful Phil Harrison. He donated this when he saw the one in my Falcon is broken on the XD. You awake? I don't know if you enjoyed that or you thought it was crap. Whatever the case, there are 2 films that I really enjoy watching. The original Italian Job with Michael Caine, and the other one's Bullet with Steve McQueen and Bill Hickman. And Bill Hickman and Steve McQueen, if you Google it or YouTube it, you'll find footage of them driving around an airfield, getting to know the cars that they were in. Of course, Hickman was in this Charger, this Charger with a 440 big block, and McQueen was in the GT390 Mustang. And the Charger was quite a bit quicker, and they had to actually stick razor blades on it what do you call them, thin tyres, we used to call them razor blades, to slow it down, to stop it handling and being able to get grip. And when he first guns it up that hill in San Francisco, the noise it makes and just the smoke everywhere, you just think, wow. The chase scenes, it depends on what you're interested in. The BMC boys and the Mini fans and always love the Italian job, and to this day, it's touted as being, you know, probably the best car chase. I put it on par with the Bullet one. They're very, very different chase scenes. Steve McQueen lied to the city of San Francisco about we won't be going that fast, and actually shut roads down to let them film it. Of course, they went flat out. And I think the only part of that film that looked a bit sped up was at the end when the Mustang and the Charger was empty, of course. They were connected at the front, and they released the Charger and it went into a service station. And that bit there looked a bit sped up, I think, from memory. I haven't watched it for a while. But the rest of the chase was all in real time. And so those two chase scenes, and you're going to get people talking about Fast and Furious, but I've never sat through much of them. I think one of the lead actors is a bit of a bonehead. I know, it's just an opinion. I just don't think they're in the same realm as these two. Even though I think the Italian Job essentially is a better film than Bullet in terms of the plot. The movie's entertaining from the start right through the end, where Bullet, you know, you're saying, come on, get to the chase scene, you know. But Michael Caine did say at the end, right at the end scene, they've got all this gold bullion from the minis, they throw them all off cliffs, and they're in a coach. And the bullion, the bus spins out and it's teetering on the side of a cliff, and the bullion slides back, and it looks like they're all going to meet their death. And he says, and pardon my poor interpretation, he says, hold on a minute, lads, I've got a great idea. And that's where the film finishes. And so I'm going to end with, hold on a minute, lads, I've got a fantastic idea. I'm not going to tell you what it is. So have a great day. See you around. We're going to have a look at the XD now. This car needs a bit of work on it. I might pop change all the brake fluid. It does look pretty rubbish. I was going to take this car to Adelaide, but I'm a bit unsure about all these stupid restrictions. I shouldn't say stupid, but they annoy me. That's a second generation Thompson. I had a NF Fairlane that had one the same as that, although the casing was white on it, I think, but the pump was exactly the same. One of the perks of having a YouTube channel, I guess, is people are so kind to you, you know. There's the other bit. Hang on. This is Nick again. Nick Sagliano gave me these. I lost my snap-on radiator hose thing, so it's actually really good. I pop a nose out, even though I probably should have taken the grill out first, because that little black piece has probably just popped out, and I can just wangle that out like that. Oops, I did drop it. It's in there somewhere. I'll have to take the grill off of it. But that'll release the bonnet here. Clip on there. And this has never been off before. So a little clip. And that comes off. And Phil actually asked me, but he goes, have you put that on yet? It's like, no. And these magnetic screwdrivers. You don't have to pop the grill out to do this, but I should have taken it out before just to catch that plastic pin. I think I've got a couple of spares. I hope I've got a couple of spares. So we'll just bring this guy out. And, now this car, oops, actually I can just start with that car. Oopsies, pop screws. See if we can get this one out, even if I just manage to move it out the way a bit. If I'm going to break it, this is going to be really, really brittle. Fed it out like that, that's probably better. So I didn't lose that one, but I have lost one of them. So we need to find that again. Stuff it, we'll take it out, because we can. It's never been out of this car. Even this bit here, just a plastic thing, there's a channel under there, I can't get to it. So I'll find something else. I think I know exactly what I can use for that to get it back in. So I'll pop that there. Let's see if we can unpick these cable ties, or I'll just put new ones on. Boy. Is this a new old stock, I feel? There's no evidence on here, or there, where are they secured there, that there's ever been a screw there. Like, no, that's the impression there. I reckon he's giving me a new old stock one. That is so kind. Thanks, buddy. Look. That's awesome. Let's put that down for a moment. I'll check the length of it just on the off chance. You know, whatever it's off. I imagine it's the same part. I can't see Ford making different ones for XDs, Zs and Fs. But it looks to be brand new, which is lovely. A couple of things in these old Fords, these old XDs. And you notice, if you look, people think K code is the code on the VIN. If it's K, it's a V8, but it doesn't stipulate what size on the end of the VIN number. Early XDs have bracing underneath the guard. The 6s don't have those 3 bolts there. I'm not sure. I don't think they've got those either. Not sure. But this is a genuine old V8 car. This is just a minter. Look at this, Phil. This is great. Thanks so much. It looks and feels brand new. Identical lengths. The XD one had that red tape on it. I don't know what for, and also the grommet's a little bit different. It's got that. The new one's got that much larger grommet. And the XD had a smaller one, but the hole is the same size, and that's perished anyhow. The part you poke through is exactly the same though. That's so awesome. Just going to put this in. I don't want that to break. And I've just got bits of sprue from a model kit. That's too loose. Look at this one. That's too loose. Oh, yeah, it is a bit too loose. And I got this one's too thick, so I might just turn that down a bit and stick that in. This one here, and then just do it the right length and be good. Try and turn this down. A bit of 80. It's warm. Is that going to fit? Not quite. A bit more. Should be right. Job done. It's worth saving some of this stuff because people just ask stupid money, and I always complain about this. There's a guy on eBay that had an air cleaner for an XD. It was a second, like an XD update, an XE, with the clip that lock them down, and he had it on for 1500. Didn't even include that. Now that air cleaner I've never painted. I did the rocker covers 20 years ago, I think, the start of the 2000s. They're in acrylic with a bit of clear on them, and nothing's peeled off. I think engine enamel is a load of BS, because a lot of people, I just use jam. I just use air dry enamel. It gives you a lovely shine. And a lot of people just use base coat. I wouldn't use acrylic on a block or on the heads where they get really hot, but on the rocker covers, it's never peeled. No, it doesn't do anything like that. But that's the original finish, and this guy did it with a rattle can. You can see it, and it's actually metallic. All of my Ford silvers, I use Mitsubishi Gentil silver, and Gentil with 2 L's, I think. And it looks like that. I painted this bike. Hang on a minute. I painted this motorcycle in it. That's Gentil silver. I actually painted that tank dark blue, laid the stripes out, and then painted it silver, and then cleared it. But that's Mitsubishi Gentile silver. And it looks like the Honda silver, and it looks like the Ford silver as well. It's beautiful stuff. Most silvers I find look too much like. They're trying to replicate aluminium. They're too relicanny. That's Gentile silver as well. They're the clips I'm talking about. Those ones. They're only on second generation XDs and XEs. The other ones are just like that. So any prime models, they don't actually have those clips around them. I don't know when they changed them over. But yeah, that Joker had one of these air cleaners, $1,500 with a Relican paint job and some stickers. Didn't even have the heat riser mechanism or anything with it, which I think is ridiculous. And it's people like that that just wreck the hobby. They totally ruined it for me. The other thing I've always done on all the cars I've done is I stick a PWR transmission cooler on. Obviously not the XC, it's manual, but the factory, they used to splice into the radiator cooler. Ugh, that's all dirty, isn't it? And I've just removed it. So that cooler in the radiator there, just down here and also at the bottom, I've disabled and just used a large PWR one. They're 255 by 280 mils. They come in at about $135. And just plumb it in. Right. Oh, here we go. There's my socket. I've also got a where's the on steering wheel? I've got to take the cluster surround off again because the I put the 5-watt wedge globes in, and as soon as I did that, I thought, oh look, they're nice and bright. All these people called me and said, Pete, get them out of there. I learnt the hard way. These guys here. So I'll take those out and put the 3-watt ones back in. I'm just going to make sure this works before I shut the bonnet. That would really suck if you shut it and it wouldn't open. A lot of people also damage these by grabbing it like that and putting their thumb through there. It's always better to do it on the side. And that's releasing, so that's cool. Yep, alright. You can see the bonding between the frame of the bottom and the skin isn't working very well, but let's have a look. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Phil, with the XF Falcon. It is very, very kind of you to donate this to my old XD. That's so cool. I've been asked a few times actually I'm going to restore this, and I'll never restore it. I do have to clean bits of it up. What have we got? A bit of an oil leak down there off the Dizzy. It probably wouldn't hurt to put a new one on because that's the original distributor from from 1979. And also, you know, things like this. I'm going to change the coolant, and that brake booster looks pretty shabby. The thing that worries me, I was going to pull the engine out anyway to do this brake line. It's sort of rusting on the outside, so the inside's probably not much better. But I might try and do it with the engine in situ. They've just got those bastard clips on them. But I do have to take this in and do some work. I changed the ball joints not long ago in the idler arm, and I think, like, they look terrible, these terminals, but the batteries always get taken out anyway. Actually, I should just see if it starts. I haven't started it for a while. Harvey, wonderful Harvey, he always helps me out. He gave me new lens for the dash and the right sender. I got the wrong sender for the oil pressure. I put plugs in it. I'd been opening the secondary, seeing if it had that restrictor thing in it, and that's the reason I sort of coughed a bit there. It's a lovely old bus, isn't it? Might just let it warm up for a bit. good. Yeah, you should have recognised when I started it, but listen to that. There's not a sound. This is why I won't take it out. I did a compression test 5 years or so ago, and the two rear cylinders were low, but if I did it hot, I reckon it'd come good after a run. Those hoses, I'm going to change. That heater hose has obviously been, well, the heater has been leaking. But I'm not taking that engine out unless there's something wrong with it. And there just isn't. That sender's the right one, which is great. But I will do the valve stem seals. That's one of the next jobs I'll do. These wheels, when I painted these, that's the genteel silver, and I put a bit of the nutmeg, the body colour in there, this, and came up with that champagne colour. I need to take them off to have a look at the disc pads, and it needs a service. Better shake out that cover too. That's so cool. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. See you soon.
Darren, the side
The
car.
front guard.
The front car. Wait. Was it that one?
Turn around.
Okay.
G'day. G'day and welcome to our garage. My name's Peter.
And I'm Charlie.
Charlie, mate, tell us what we've finished lately.
Well, we've just completed this Morris 1500. We've just restored the.
You did a crash repair. and
Yes.
Did all the engine bay up. There's actually a video posted on that car if you want to take a look. Unfinished, but now it's finished. It's only been finished a couple of days now. What else, mate? What else have we been doing?
Well, we've also, before the 1500, we've completed the Galaxy 500. We've done the whole engine and the engine bay. Also, the brakes and a bit of the boot.
There's actually 4 slideshows posted on that car which you can take a look at if you like. Bit of work on the MG and a host of cars before that, really. Can you remember some of them? Some of the cars?
There were 2 Worsleys, a Humber, and
a couple of Tiranas.
Yeah.
We sold them on, actually. We didn't do much work to them. First Worsley was a 1560 that you were helping me with some of the unmasking of the paint.
Yep.
And also you cleaned the windows on it. And
Yeah.
I remember you were walking around in gumboots up here of your mother's. It was pretty good. You were 6 years old. So we've got a new one. And would you like to talk about the new one?
Okay, it's a Worsley Mark II automatic. It's haze blue and
That one.
it's that pui to the over there. So.
What do you reckon? She haven't. Jesus. Move. Move, cat. Move. Move. Come on. Off you go.